I'll train right to spin fire. The NFT and others are diving deep into projects. He's the crypto energizer. From your meme coins to tokens, he's got all the intel. Web3 is a treat. Show you where it's
Mega GMs. Good morning, guys. Well, happy Monday to you. Oh boy, the day before tax day. Don't be this guy, man. Do not be Sir Wilcox here. What's up, Murray? What's up? Hang on, Red Dollar. There we go. I got to get used to that name. Bullish. Good morning, Cats. Good morning. Yeah, tomorrow's the deadline. Tomorrow's tax day. Actually, I was gonna say this to talk about maybe a little deeper, but looking at crypto prices here over the past few weeks and volatility, yeah, you could probably sum it all up with that. To a degree, there's this thought that we just had to make it past the 15th. And if the market can hold on, if it can remain at whatever level, let's just say whatever level it's at now, if we can maintain that, it's a pretty good starting point for maybe to resume this run. We're watching. I'm watching. Anyway, you're looking at Wilcox right here. Wilcox, we could call him a whale, a big NFT collector who didn't pay his taxes on his crypto punks. Yes, this guy's made probably 10, 12, $13 million on punk sales over the years. We found out just over the weekend that Wilcox faces up to 6 years in prison for not reporting his gains here. In fact, like checking a box saying he's not traded crypto. So we got to start with a reminder here. Take care of your shit. Don't be like Wilcox. Boy, oh boy. We'll see how that plays out. It's a bummer too, because you see his name around this space. He's not just some stranger. Even if you don't know him personally, some of us are familiar with the name Wilcox. So bummer there. We'll see how that plays out. All right, let's get into the show, guys. Smash the like, by the way, wherever you're watching, over on Abstract. Good to see you there. Over on X. And on YouTube, especially on YouTube, man, definitely make sure you subscribe over here. Catch the replays of the show if you can't catch them live. We have Chain Reactor, 9 a.m. Eastern time in the morning. And then in the afternoon, 2 p.m., we have the Swarm Report, hitting all the latest in AI. Starting to catch on with a different crowd, by the way, I'm noticing. Past few videos are starting to catch on. Again, I think people outside of the normal crypto ecosystem, which is really cool. Keep my eyes on that. But there's a lot of info in that show. If you want to keep up with crypto AI, but broader AI here too, you want to catch the Swarm Report. So go back and check out all those previous episodes. Some good stuff there. And an incredible guest coming up tomorrow on the Swarm Report. It's Loki. It's a fellow Swarm agent. So we'll have the Swarm, we'll have Loki, we'll have DGNC, we'll have AIXBT. It's a really good-looking Swarm. So we'll be talking to some of these Swarm founders here over the next many weeks. Subscribe. Catch it all. Just a quick heads up, and this is like an ask of you guys. If I'm talking about something you don't happen to see it on the screen, just give me a heads up. I'm going to try to keep on top of this, but the streaming software I used had a big update, and I have to manually, when I change to my next topic, I have to go and do another step and actually put it on the screen each time. I'm just picturing I can get in the zone and miss it. But yeah, Cat's great point there. Cat's one of our winners. We're going to continue that today, I believe. Basically clip the show over an Abstract or YouTube or whatever. We're going to pick a winner and send him some Swarm. Cats has got some coming. Players got some coming. We'll continue that today. We'll see if Loki wants to get in the mix tomorrow too and give away some of their token. Would be really cool. Also, follow us on X. It is CryptoSlam.io. Again, all this extra clicking now. Boy, oh boy. SlamAI_XYZ. A lot coming in that ecosystem, too. A lot. And very close. And then, of course, the Swarm_AI. That is our flagship AI agent. He will be living in the Virtual's ACP, the Virtual Swarm. Autonomous hedge fund and trading DAO. Like, really spicy thing that's coming here. It's coming really soon. Really, really soon. Old clip. Well, Huds, that's a good question. What about old clips? I think it's just got to be from here forward. I think. I'll do some thinking about that, because I think you and maybe just you. Some people have made some clips on the YouTube stuff back in the day, so maybe there's something to do there too. Let me give that a think here. And then finally, you can follow me, guys, over on X as well. It's Hudah_idiot. Okay. Wild weekend here. Wild. I mean, you couldn't have, I guess, a more drastic time where 1 minute it's game on and the market's back and, the worst is behind us. And the next minute, it's all undone. It's it's in a way back to square one, talking tariffs specifically here, right? We got news actually during the stream Saturday morning. We got news that I need some music. There we go. We got news Saturday morning during our live stream that there were going to be some exemptions with these tariffs, right? We heard that there was going to be a 90-day pause on the tariffs. Actually, now I'm trying to get the timeline straight. We got the 90-day pause on tariffs. Actually, that might have been like late last week, not on the weekend. And market loved it. Market loved it. Bitcoin climbs to what, 85? Maybe it even touched 86, but the market loved it. Felt like the worst of the tariff and trade war was behind us. And then out of nowhere, seemingly out of nowhere, all of that undone. Right. So we hear, actually, I think this was Saturday. Okay. So we hear that the tariffs, there will be an exclusion here for computer, smartphones, chip making equipment. Again, market loved it. It's like, okay, we're feeling like pressure's off. It almost felt like Trump bent the knee here a bit. But again, the market loved it. But then the next day on Sunday, Howard Lutnick's on TV and he's giving an interview and talking about these tariffs. And he makes it a little more clear, and I don't know if they have a unified message behind the scenes, by the way, but makes it a little more clear that these aren't gone, and that it's going to be maybe like a little more fine-tuned. And so he starts making comments here that these phones and chips and computers and actually semiconductors are still going to face tariffs. Spooks the market. And then Trump comes out and says, yeah, nobody's off the hook. Nobody's off the hook. There was no exception announced on Friday. Guys, we saw it. There was an exception announced. There was. So I'll tell you, at this point, the market doesn't know how to react to this stuff. I don't know how either. It's like I've been saying, there's nothing happening right now that gives anybody confidence to go all in, right? There's no way we resume banana zone when nobody knows what kind of downside risk we still have. Nobody knows how to plan in this kind of market, and something is broken. And is it by design? Is this inexperience? Well, nobody knows. And so again, you can have no confidence to make plays and make bets in this market. Again, Trump with a post on Truth Social and emphasizing again, there was no exception, none. Different types of tariffs. They'll dial it into specific sectors and products. But those tariffs are here. And yes, the 90-day pause is there. But there still are tariffs coming, and there's big tariffs coming, and the market just doesn't know what to do with this. And so, yeah, trade war back on. Trump saying China's days of abusing the U.S. on trade are over. What does that look like? That's what we're waiting to find out still. But back to times of uncertainty in a big, big way. Big way. I got to look at how the market is looking pre-market right now. There's a lot of, again, uncertainty. I don't think anybody knows how today's going to play out. You would think the market isn't going to have such a great day, a hot day. But at this point, maybe this is all just noise. It might just be noise, and traders are going to just trade independent of these kind of comments here. As of yesterday, S&P 500 futures only up 30 points. It's right there. I mean, that sums it up. Investors have lost all confidence in the market. It's more extreme than that. It's not just that confidence is lost. It's much more extreme than that. We have a clip to play here in a moment, but it's a deeper problem here. Not good. Not good. Yes, buckle up for a wild week, I think, is fair. But I will say this. I don't know if it will be extreme. Picture when great news in crypto would really send the market, right? Any kind of big announcement, a big name coming into crypto, a big Bitcoin purchase, whatever, the market sends, right? And the more that happens, the less it actually impacts the market, the less the market moves just off of news. And as we keep getting these conflicting takes on tariffs, the same thing's going to happen. Yes, the market might move a little, but these extreme dumps, these extreme gains just off of these announcements, it's just going to become noise. And for the most part, it will get ignored here. And it feels like that's what we're heading into now. still expecting kind of an interesting week here. Let's look at crypto here, and I'm going to refresh the screen. What's up, Serge? Oh, I mean, to the point. I mean, we're starting the morning here, and a morning that I think people are expecting to be kind of rough, but here's Bitcoin up, back over 85K. ETH getting close to 1,700, up all over 4% in the past 24 hours. Ripple 216, Solana 134. Solana looking really interesting. The Solana ETH ratio is at an all-time high now too. As of yesterday, really, really, really spicy over there. I'm bullish on Solana, I'll say that. Looking at ETFs, zoom that out a little bit. Here we go on Friday. Interesting day here, if that's accurate. Friday wasn't a holiday, was it? I mean, just very, very low volume. 1 million outflows. I just want to double check. Is this Bitcoin? Yeah, it is. Bitcoin ETFs. Just 1 million outflows. It's a weird looking day, but we'll take them at their word. On the ETH side, 29 million outflows. Solana, Surge, Solana looking really good. Solana looking really good. In fact, there's some good TA out there showing Solana maybe on its way up to, let's say, back to 200 or so. We'll see. We'll see. I think everything's looking good. Honestly, I think on the crypto side, I'll speak specifically for crypto. I think looking really, really good. Now, Lutnick saying still confident U.S. and China work out some kind of trade deal. I'm assuming the same thing. I have trouble thinking while I'm saying things are broken, they are. I have trouble thinking it's broken, like unfixable. I have trouble seeing that. That said, I mean, it is going to get spicy, and this battle is heating up now. It is. China halting shipments on rare earth minerals. Minerals that can be acquired elsewhere. Maybe it's China refines them, right? It's not that they have a monopoly on the minerals themselves, but the refining of the minerals, something like 85% come from China. So you could look at it as an opportunity here in the States, refine them over here. You know, I'm sure that's what Trump wants, but capability to do that now, I don't think so. It's going to get spicy still, guys. Really nowish. It's imminent. Drop King, good morning. And, their social media has become an interesting battleground. Really has been. There's content coming out of China, probably mostly on TikTok. I think it's so fascinating. Now going off of the luxury goods market. I'm going to play this clip, actually. I showed this to my wife this morning. So I asked her, I'm like, do you like Prada bags and that kind of stuff? And this is it's a global trade war at this point. Let me cut the audio here and we'll play the clip. But you have Chinese content, a lot of it coming out showing that these luxury bags, and there's tons of other things, but these luxury bags made in Italy, made wherever, aren't actually made in Italy. These luxury bags are actually made in China and labels slapped on them. And so there's this big social media push to show people here yesterday. Drop King, what a gangster, dude. Somebody else reached out to me and said the same. It's cool. I appreciate you guys supporting. It's really cool. Swarm's going to get very interesting. It's going to get really fun here very soon. But just so you get a taste of what this content is like, I can't verify. I don't know true or not. I'm not sure, but I don't know. This could be pretty darn disruptive.
Do you recognize this style, this bag? Of course you do. For the past more than 30 years, we have been the OEM factory for most of the luxury brands around the world. Gucci, Prada, Coach, Louis Vuitton, you name it. But for this, I am not proud because we were only making our wages. The profit margin for the people who are actually making the bags are very low. What I'm really proud of is that first, we have the best quality control.
Just giving you the general idea. But by the way, it's like I don't know if it's true. I know there's all kinds of knockoff stuff. My kids shop on those, they're on TikTok. They shop on those online stores, and they buy stuff. They buy stuff right out of China, and the prices. I assumed it's a scam. My kids show it to me. Like, I just ordered sunglasses and a necklace and a belt and a shirt and this and that and that. And they got 10 things in their cart, and it's like $5. Not exaggerating. Cat's over on Abstract. Good to see you, man. Oh, speaking of that, Cass, how is that wizard token doing? I got some yesterday. I think I might have swapped it already, but how's that one doing? But again, my kids show me this stuff and it looks, like that, and few bucks. Crazy. It's like how it does to me, it doesn't even make sense.
Control. Two, we have the best craftsmanship.
Again, what's real, I don't know. I don't know. But like the disruptive potentially, trade war, game on. Now, this is what this is it. Out of today's entire show, we got some spicy topics, but I'll say this. This is maybe what I'm most focused on. When we talk about everything breaking, guys, everything is breaking. It is breaking. What does it look like? I have my hopes. I got my thoughts about what it looks like. You know what my thoughts are. It breaks, and it's crypto that it breaks into. It's crypto that everything is funneled into. It's crypto that's used to rebuild up a new type of economy. But check this out. Ray Dalio, he is CEO and CIO of a major hedge fund, and him talking about, recession, yes, but something much, much bigger. Again, it's breaking. Heads up too, if I play these and you have no audio, I think we're good. I think we fixed it yesterday, but give me a heads up if there's no audio when I play this.
I think that right now we are at a decision-making point and very close to a recession. And I'm worried about something worse than a recession if this isn't handled well. A recession is 2 negative quarters of GDP, and whether it goes slightly there, we always have those things. We have something that's much more profound. We have a breaking down of the monetary order. We are going to change the monetary order because we cannot spend the amounts of money, so we have that problem. And when we talk about the dollar and we talk about tariffs, we have that. We are having profound changes in our domestic order, how ruling is existing, and we're having profound changes in the world order.
Do these guys sound spooked to you? I've never heard this type of talk out there ever. I'm 44. I've never heard this kind of talk out there. What's happening now feels it's big. It feels new. It feels like we're in uncharted territory. It is something I don't know if it would be happening if crypto didn't exist. If crypto wasn't there to in a way bail the system out. It's something that it feels like the world will not fall back to crypto, because crypto never backed anything, but shift to it, and that a whole new system is redesigned on crypto rails. It's my hope. I think a lot of people here are hoping for that same thing, but I've never heard these guys speak like this, where it's not fears of a recession. It's not fears of profits and jobs and anything. It's fears that it's broken and maybe unfixable. Cutie, good morning. And Christian Jensen, good morning. This is different.
Such times are very much like the 1930s. I've studied history, and this repeats over and over again. So if you take tariffs, if you take debt, if you take the rising power challenging the existing power, if you take those factors and look at the factors, those changes in the orders, the systems, are very, very disruptive. How that's handled could produce something that is much worse than a recession.
Which would be what? Yeah, what would that be that's worse than a recession? I don't know if I don't think he's talking about a depression. When was the Great Depression? Was that in the 30s? Hang on, let me cheat. Might have been the 30s. That might be 29. He might be talking about that. Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, 29 to 41, longest, deepest downturn in the history of the United States. We are heading into something that's that drastic. Is it a depression? I wouldn't say that. In fact, I still think the next 5-10 years is going to be one of the most exciting times, like in history here. Oh, I like that. Okay, good. Christian comes with a good context here. Ray Dalio has been predicting the end of the world as we know it for decades. Okay, hey, that's great context. It's like those guys, when they say that long enough, eventually they'll get it right, like a broken clock, right, twice a day or whatever. Marty speaking about Wilcox, by the way, I think. Wilcox, the CryptoPunks guy, if he pays a fine and gets probation, I think he's speaking on that. Yeah, we'll get to the crypto scam too. Wild. I don't even think this is a big one. I know I put in the title. Did I put in the title? Or yeah, I put Luna 2.0. It's not that big, Actually, it's not even close to that big. Clickbait. Whatever's coming still, guys, is drastic. What's up, E-Rock? Good morning, man. My GVC, bro. But still, okay, I am an optimist. I always am. I think I always will be. I'm still hoping this leads to, yes, the shift to crypto. I really do feel like that's what's coming here. I still need to go back and listen to the SEC roundtable from last week. I really tried this weekend. I need to listen to that because that's where I learned the most about, get a feel for the direction we're really going. Again, there's lots of people and things to listen to, but I want to hear how the SEC is still talking about this now. But separately, again, things are breaking, things are changing. Yes. But there is good coming out of this. And this 90-day pause we have on tariffs, if that even is a real thing, I don't know. But there will be deals that are made. I imagine a lot of those deals will actually be good. We will see those have a tangible impact to the economy. We get through this stretch here, however long it is, and we might come out of the other side and into something that's actually really, really special, really, really awesome here in the market. I will focus on the crypto markets, but the economy in general, we might be in a really good spot here, maybe in a matter of months. Hoping so. 130 countries now negotiating tariff deals. That was the goal. That was really the goal here. But tell you what, I don't trust. I could almost leave it there. I don't trust. I don't. I believe, though, that Bitcoin is the way out of this. And interesting take. This is, I get the spirit of this take. And this ties into what I think is coming here in the next 5-10 years. Again, we will have a lot of money, value of money going way down, and comparing it to the cost of a house here, Bitcoin is not going down. Prices of houses aren't going up. That's actually it's probably true. House prices aren't really going up. It's, U.S. dollar value going down. But looking at U.S. At home prices in U.S. dollars compared to Bitcoin, they're getting cheaper in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a special fucking asset, dude. None of us. No, I don't care how much Bitcoin you guys have. None of us have enough. I like that. I like that chart. None of us have enough. Okay, let's get into our scam of the day. It's funny you could say that because there's basically a new scam every day. But we have Mantra. Is it Mantra? Mantra. This is a blockchain for RWAs. Kind of touted as the biggest upcoming RWA chain. I don't think they have any customers or any products actually on chain yet. Serge, that's actually really possible. I don't know if you're talking like market cap or TVL or just even price, but any of those absolutely true. Could be absolutely true. Yeah, ETH's head starts don't matter. I don't think head starts matter at all. Oh my God, E-Rog. Okay, we touched on this yesterday a bit. Actually, yesterday was the weekend streams were fun. Everyone you follow on socials Jewish. Yeah, dude, something to it, right? You chosen them. RWA blockchain, man, RWAs are coming in a big way. It's not just talk anymore, though, right? Like we've been hearing for years that RWAs are coming in. Everything's coming on chain, and it was just words. It's kind of here now. Still waiting for like some really strong crypto legislation. Then it really comes, but it's here. The setup is here, and part of that setup is the infrastructure for RWAs. Ooh, you dodged a bullet there, Serge. But there you are. Token is OM. It's Mantra. I think it's Mantra. Plummeted 90%. Yeah, this is awesome because if you're here, kind of in the community, this started showing up on your timeline, yes, but also in your group chats and in your Discord servers. Everybody starts posting this chart here. Everyone's like, "What the fuck is going on?" Huge rug. I'll say we don't know if it's a rug. Kind of seems like it, but yeah, the OM token market cap dropped $6 billion. $6 billion in a matter of hours. And it doesn't look like your typical, token crash or volatility. It's not that. No, this is, that's definitely something different. That is definitely more ruggy. Here you got the founder of Mantra. And this was just the day before. Talking about being on a long flight, no Wi-Fi. Scary shit, bullish. It will happen again at some point. But okay. The founder of Mantra, a little sus. This tweet's a little sus. It's like giving himself an alibi, right? It's like he puts it out there. He just puts it out there in the world that he's no access to the internet, guys. I mean, I'm in the air. I got no access to anything, right? Couldn't be him. Again, this is before the crash. Nice little setup here. But then again, the crash happens. $6 billion market cap. I want to emphasize $6 billion in market cap does not mean $6 billion was extracted. That's different. If we had something that extracted $6 billion, that's a bigger problem. This is $6 billion market cap. That's $6 billion on paper, right? Like there's other factors. What was the liquidity in there? How much was actually withdrawn? That I don't think we know yet. I'm sure it's out there. I don't know it yet. But yeah, luckily, I don't think I know anybody that was in that token. This is one of those things, and there's a few blockchains like this, by the way. There's these blockchains out there that you hear about, and they sound like a big deal. And for me, I always look at them, I'm like, oh, dude, huge, sounds awesome. It's going to be huge. It's too big already. I missed it. And it's not the product I'm into, so I don't pay that much attention to it. But I assume it's like this established thing that's got some, a different kind of investor. Right. And there's a few chains out there like this where, again, they seem to come out of nowhere and they're huge. And again, I'm just like, wow, okay, there's a main character here in this space, and it's just not for me. But they're talked about. But yeah, again, not for me. That's what they were to me. I got to remind myself now after this often that maybe a lot of these actually are scams, and scams that are maybe years in the making too. It could be. There were red flags. Star Platinum here pointing this out. There were some red flags here all along the way. The fact that they controlled 90% of the token supply. It's a big old chunk of that token. Because then it's a lot of trust that they're not going to just dump on you at any point, which they might have done. I don't think we have clarity yet on who dumped there. We got some news there. But, again, red flags. Changing tokenomics. I believe on their airdrop, they slashed 50% of the people who are eligible, found that they were not eligible and didn't know why. Maybe it was Sybil attacks, and could be that. But there were red flags all along the way, apparently, with Mantra here. But yeah, some people got absolutely wrecked yesterday, which is a bummer. I'm not looking forward to seeing those stories on the timeline, but we will see them. Some guys who probably locked up a lot of their net worth in this token, thinking what I thought, again, big name, big player, RWA is going to be so big, like that's my big bet. And maybe they just, someone got absolutely destroyed in this for sure. Now I do want to check on this. Over 5.5 billion in value extracted. Again, if that's market cap going poof, it's not quite the same. So I do want to see what like how much liquidity was actually sucked out of here. Either way, big deal. Okay, bullish. Great Depression comes in the 2030s. I still hope the AI thing, right? And by the way, more and more bullish. I consider your take on AI. It's not going to be this, period of abundance and prosperity for everybody. There's the other side, because to a degree, we already have that now. We have more resources at anything than when we ever have, and we don't. It's not shared. I'm right. We all see that. We all struggle in our ways, and we know there's a lot more people that actually struggle. So we have this abundance now, and it's not shared the way you would hope. Once the money printing happens, in response to the coming bust, fully cycles through the system, and we have double digit, right? It's bullish, and that speaks to just how broken it is. Because normally what they would do is, yes, turn on the money printer, and good times resume. And then what happens when it comes back? And all that's happened is we just keep printing more and more and more and more and more money, and at some point you can't do it anymore. It isn't sustainable, and it feels like we're at that point now. It's why there could be a big reset here to crypto. Again, what does that look like? I don't know. Doug, there you go, bullish. Yeah, anticipate crypto being offered as the solution after the bust. See, I'm hoping it's before. I hope that people see that's coming. This is my bet based on nothing but hopium. But my bet, or I should just say my hope, is people see that's what is coming, like exactly what you're saying. And the solution is get ahead of it now, although we rarely get ahead of things. We wait for a crisis and then handle it then. Yeah, yikes, Surge. Good eye if you saw that. Marty, please tell. Marty, please tell. Yeah, Moonship, exactly. That's why I struggle to say 6 billion extracted when you can have market caps of, many, many billions in liquidity that's, $1 million, meaning you can only take $1 million out of that coin, right? Market cap is it's kind of make believe. It's not, but if we're talking about value of something, that's not, market cap is not the value. Marty. Now that's true too. Yeah. I know what you're saying. Yep. Market cap can be totally fudged. Absolutely right. What's up, Marco? Good to see you, brother. Okay. All right. We'll take it. Okay. So you got the founder of Mantra commenting on this. He's saying, he's like, guys, I don't know what's going on. I'm learning about it too. Let's find out. He's saying there was a massive forced liquidation from a large OM investor. Large investor on a centralized exchange. Somebody got liquidated. I don't know if this is tied into the Binance stuff we saw 2 weeks ago, right? There were some meme coins that dumped because they had different liquidity requirements. And so some of these market makers had to they had to unwind their positions. Could be that. It could be that an investor was doing maybe leverage trading and was forced liquidated. I don't think we know exactly yet. That said, by now it's just searching the timeline. It could be out there. Spicy. Funny enough, I feel like it feels stupid even giving this thing so much attention. It kind of does. Again, this is back to the market cap talk versus how much liquidity was actually there, how big a deal this actually was. I don't think this is that impactful at all. It's a good story. It's a good headline. And probably will continue to be, guys. There will be lawsuits here. I remember seeing Berwick Law. Guys, what was the first major thing that was popping up on the timeline that Berwick Law was going after him? It might have been Pump Fun. I think it was Pump Fun. I remember seeing Berwick Law having a couple hundred followers, and now they've made a name for themselves because every rug or any big high profile happening here, it's always them tweeting out. It's always them tweeting out and trying to get these class action type lawsuits. So they've definitely made a name for themselves marketing wise. Really good job here, taking advantage of every ruggy situation out here. But yeah, I'm sure we'll see more about this. So no surprise seeing them there. We will see more about this. And again, even short term, learning what the impact is. Now, a little side note here, and if there's time, we're going to talk runes and ordinals today too, but this one's super interesting. I'm really bullish on runes. Heidi's, good to see you, man. I'm really bullish on runes, especially this week, guys. We have the Magic Eden Slingshot decks launching. That doesn't mean that rune trading goes live on it this week too. That might be another few weeks off, might be. But still, big week for fungible tokens and specifically for Magic Eden. It's big. Now, runes right now, people are trading them actually in a big way over on Odin.fun. And then we heard overnight last night, early this morning, Odin Fun got hacked. Specifically the founder saying his account, I don't know if it's his personal account or if he has a wallet for Odin.fun, but hacked. He's saying his Odin Fun account, not his personal one. But they stopped trading. They stopped withdrawals on the platform until they find out the scope of this thing. This might be bad. This might be really, really bad. And I think there's something interesting here. There's something interesting. It could be a total coincidence, guys, but this is just hey, let me think. A month and a half ago, Yellow Doodle had tweeted this out. Yellow Doodle had tweeted out that on Odin Fun, he connected his wallet, and very soon after, he had his wallet drained. Right. And I saw that. I'm like, bummer, but I don't think it was that wallet because he's the only one impacted, right? Now I'm not so sure. Also, we got to find the timeline of all this stuff. Confusion. If you're watching, you might be engagement farming. You might be. But here's the wallet, by the way, that was compromised, and it dumped, probably 2 Bitcoin worth of tokens. Let's say 1.5 Bitcoin worth of tokens. Could this guy? I'm gonna be real, not careful. Let me say this up front. I'm just putting this out there as a what if scenario. I think this Bob Bodily guy is cool. I think he's cool. I think he's building a real product. But what if you have a bad actor? These bad actors are not stupid. Some of them are actually going to build a product. And maybe like Mantra, like they build a thing and then plan to do the rugging part down the road. It'll catch people by surprise. You got to consider those kind of scenarios. It happens. These guys are willing to look like they're real builders here, and then rug you when it just makes sense. Maybe. But no, I still think this was an isolated incident. I think Yellow Doodle got compromised elsewhere. But now I'm at least open to the fact that there's something with Odin.fun. Maybe. We'll keep our eyes on that. This is a big deal. Remember, Odin Fun it's backed by Taproot Wizards. I think there's bigger plans for that. We shall see. Yeah. Either way, I'm looking forward to the Magic Eden's product. We'll trade runes over there. Although if Odin.fun is cool, like I'm willing to use the platform. After Yellow Doodles thing, I decided I'm not going to touch it till, down the road. At this point, maybe not at all. All right. Man, a lot of crypto stuff today, right? I'm still watching the Trumps and what they're buying and what they're talking about. That's kind of everything. That's my main focus here. We got this news over the weekend. They sold ETH last week. Now buying some SAY, almost $1 million worth of SAY. I pay attention to that stuff. Also, we got to pay attention to the Trump token this week. This will be a big one. 20% of the Trump supply unlocks this week on the 18th. Is that Friday? On Friday. $330 million worth. And by the way, this is probably a good point or time to look at that Trump token's market cap. That's a significant chunk of the market cap of that token. So this is a good exercise here. Let me pull this up. Now, this is where, if you're talking about ruggy stuff, I'm not saying the Trump token's a rug, but if you're trying to make sense of market caps compared to what's the value. Here's the Trump token. This token is 341 million liquidity. Yes, the market cap is 1.6 billion. Yes, the FTV is 8.3 billion. It's not worth that. There is not $1.6 billion locked up in this token. There's 341 mil. Right? Okay, so their token unlock is worth 330 mil, meaning they could dump all of it, and then it's game over for this token. There's no liquidity. Nobody can trade. I'm watching to see what happens here. I don't know. I don't imagine they'll dump, but guys, remember early on, they sold a lot of their tokens. They put out this token so they can sell a lot more of the token too. So they have essentially enough to wipe out that LP. Will they? We'll see. And by the way, yes, this is trading on other exchanges. This is just one pairs. But it's safe to say they could do some damage to that coin, and it depends on how careful they are. They launched Melania. I don't know that they care too much. I don't know if they care. Again, we'll see. We'll see. It's gonna be a real fucking interesting week. I know that. All right. We have some buyers for Bitcoin still. It is Michael Saylor, another big Bitcoin purchase. We knew this was coming because he tweeted yesterday. When Michael Saylor tweets on Sunday and he shows his chart, it means he's buying Bitcoin. And so we saw it yesterday. We knew it's coming. Last week, it was a $30 billion Bitcoin purchase, the biggest he's done yet. This week, not so much. Still, 285 mil. It's pretty damn cool. 3,400 Bitcoin he purchased for Strategy. My God, guys. Strategy has 531,000 Bitcoin. That is a huge percent of the entire Bitcoin supply. This is wild. Had some fun speculation this weekend, too, that maybe there's a deal being worked out. U.S. government purchases Strategy's Bitcoin. I don't know, but fun. It's fun to think about. Who's not buying Bitcoin? McDonald's. McDonald's not buying Bitcoin. We know GameStop is. McDonald's was also going to be voting on this. Nope, not them, which is fine. Moonship, he's got a lot. By the way, Fog, good to see you. But yes, the Sailor thing is a problem. It's good or bad. Look, Sailor says he's not selling it, and when he dies, it's just gone forever. It's bullish, right? Obviously, I think we all like that. Is that really how it plays out? That I'm not sure. It's a risk, okay? If you're trying to factor in risk, you have to factor in that Sailor could single-handedly like crash this shit. He could. I don't think he's gonna, but also I don't know. Nobody knows. We see these scammy fucks everywhere. They could present as the good guy, as Sailor does, and then game over at any point. It's a real risk, and it's something we have to always consider here. I love that. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Optimistic still. Like the time frame I put out here all the time, guys. You know what it is, right? Time. What I'm looking forward to, the most imminent catalyst here for crypto in the time frame, right? The Stables Act, the Genius Act, and the time frame. For me, what I'm looking at is sometime this summer. I think by this summer, I don't want to say by the summer, by the end of the summer, this might be a whole different market, a whole different game. I'm like super optimistic about what's coming here. Like really optimistic about what's coming. And it's not like later this year, next year it's coming. I do think it's sometime like this summer we get some regulation passed, game-changing regulation. And then we have second half of the year just cooks. And early next year cooks. And I don't know when it ends. There's so many other X factors. But we heard from Senator Tim Scott. This is what I'm talking about. We heard from him, and it matches what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, and I'm going by other people's words. A lot of talk about the Stables Act. You know, that's going to be voted on here within the next maybe like 2 to 3 months. But Tim Scott saying he thinks crypto infrastructure bill will be passed by August. So the same time frame I'm speaking of, maybe June, July, by August. So maybe I don't know. Maybe that's by the end of August. Whatever. It's coming, and that's when this all changes. We passed that Stables Act. It's game on. Hang on, let's get that volume up. This is bullish. This is some of the most important shit out there.
The administration and the Kitzler at the SEC, they just didn't like crypto. What I've said very often is simply this: we must innovate before we regulate. That means allowing innovation to happen here at home in the digital asset space is critical to American economic dominance across the globe. The good news is President Trump is leading the way to a crypto revolution, starting here at the Banking Committee. And that's why we've moved very quickly the Genius Act, focusing on the crypto world. That's how you get things done. It's passed through my committee in a bipartisan fashion. Next, market structure on its way to be heard in the committee, marked up, and I believe passed into law by August.
Okay, so that does a couple things for us. The Genius Act. And so, like I'm saying, it's the Stables Act and the Genius Act, the two most important pieces of legislation that change crypto, change everything. Its mass adoption comes from those two things. So he's saying the Genius Act, it has passed his committee. It is now going for, it's like a different kind of committee meeting where they mark it up. They review it. They make sure it's actually passable. It's good enough to be voted on by the House and the Senate. And saying that's coming up. And he thinks once that happens, when he said marked it up. And then I've seen market, like MARKET. But either way, once that happens, then it goes to the House and Senate for a vote, and he thinks that's by August. Well, that marking up or market up period or event happened for the Stables Act 2 weeks ago. So the Stables Act is further along than the Genius Act. So if he thinks that the Genius Act is going to be passed by August, then we got to look at the Stables Act. And I think it's, in a way, I was going to say more important. It's just as important. It's really, really, really important. That might be even sooner. It has a 2 to 3 week head start. Maybe we see the Stables Act passed in June or July. Both of those are really soon. He's speaking about the Genius Act, really important. These are the dates now that we have circled. These are the dates that we're now counting on. And I don't think this market does anything parabolic until those two things happen. One or the other actually could send us, but those need to happen. One or the other needs to happen. And that's when we see this market really, really change. And just an idea of how it's going to change, guys. It's so drastic. It's why I just have trouble. It's why I've got the crazy predictions. It's why I have trouble when people are coming up with their game plans and price predictions, and they're using like yesterday, last cycle as like the evidence for what's going to happen, right? They're talking about what happened last cycle. We're looking at how things are priced now, how many users are here. And I'm like, I get it. Right. That's fair. That's a reasonable way to think about this. But what's coming changes everything. What's coming makes all that look like, a beta. It's a different period. It's a different world. What's coming is everybody on chain, every asset on chain. And so those price predictions have to reflect an entirely different economy. Tokenized real world assets projected to grow from 0.6, so 600 billion this year to almost 19 trillion in 8 years. To almost 19 trillion. We're talking like a 30-something X. There's a lot of money coming on chain. That, I think, by the way, I think that factors in stable coins. I think I'm only going by this chart here. This chart does show stable coins. And I've seen some predictions that stable coins is like $100 trillion, maybe even 200 trillion. It's massive. So that kind of goes against what this says. If this is factoring in stable coins, maybe this may even be like 5 times higher. But the kind of growth that's coming is this. And so when I make my silly predictions, it's factoring in this, that some of that money or the people who are invested in those type of things are now here and now look at other types of blockchain assets and collectibles. These people all come in here. It's just younger and younger generations as we move forward who know collectibles, who know digital assets. They do. There's a lot more money coming to this space. And yes, I'll mention ordinals now. There are very, very few Bitcoin collectibles for people to pick from. And they will pick from that over other collectibles, over Ethereum stuff. It's very, very exciting stuff coming, guys. And it's not far off. 5 years, within 10 years. But I'm still sticking to a 5-year kind of time frame for something like very tangible that changes. Really, Moonship. Interesting. Nothing you can share yet? I like it. I think everything's going to use stable soon. I mean, the Magic Eden DEX, you'll be trading these meme coins not with the native, the platform's token, not the blockchain token. You're going to trade them with USDC. Tokenization means assets are being put on chain. That's a great point. Yep, that's it. It's putting those assets on chain. Meaning, yes, you put $100 billion. You put a piece of property on chain. Well, then you're counting that as the value of that ecosystem. Yes. Yep, that's a great point. That's a great point. And then I'll just put this out there so people have some hopium. Yes, Murad is back talking his shit, and I love his shit. I still agree with him. That the meme coin super cycled. But guys, I'll say this. No one knows how this is going to go. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I really think, what I really believe is that Murad has been right all along. That the guys telling you that meme coins are dead and never coming back are insane. And that the guys who say that, apologies if it's any of you guys, but that the guys who say that they're missing something. There's something about this space they're not understanding. And it's an easy thing for me to understand. It's that everybody likes to gamble. And it's easier to gamble in crypto than anywhere else. And that the kind of money people have to gamble with is more than anywhere else. The meme coin super cycle is going to play out. And again, we'll be bigger than before. And everything he says of many tokens over a bill market cap, many tokens over 10 bill market cap and multiple tokens at 100 bill plus. I agree. It's happening. It's going to happen. And again, the people who said it's not coming back, I really would question them. I would really question those people. We'll see. Cats, hang on. If that's the timeline, looks like you'll be losing a floor form to English. No, funny enough, I still think May is going to be good. I do actually. Actually English does too. English and I were chatting this weekend. So English and a lot of people are expecting the next couple of months to actually be pretty hot. Doesn't mean all-time high, but a lot of people expecting Bitcoin to be up over the next couple of months. Now, when I do too, well, obviously, I think that the banana zone thing doesn't happen until later this year, second half, right? Like our climb to 150, 200K Bitcoin, that's second half of the year, early next year, maybe. But I think Bitcoin's going to be, well, I'm going to stick to my prediction. And I could be wrong by a few mil, like who fucking knows? My bet is that Bitcoin in May, by the end of May, is at 104,000. That's my bet. Could it be 95K or 100 right around? Yeah. My bet is just that Bitcoin's going to be up and you got to lock in a number. So we picked 104,500 is where we locked in that bet. I made that bet again, just believing that Bitcoin's going to be up really, really significantly from where we're at now. And again, English, we were talking this weekend. He also thinks Bitcoin's got a really, really a hot few months ahead of it. So that's the bet. The bet is at a higher number, but I think we've got. I do not. Actually, here's what the bet boiled down to: sell in May and walk away. Right? I'm betting that that's not the case. Although, okay, Bitcoin hits 104.5 in May. Maybe you do sell there and walk away. I mean, maybe, but my bet was just that Bitcoin's going to be up very, very nicely in May. Summer pumps Bitcoin until July holiday season. Yeah, I'm like it. I don't think it's going to be a quiet summer at all. I like that bullish 140 to 240K, 150 to 240 this cycle. I think we peak in less than 6 months, then this market cycle over. We had a fun chat this weekend too about where we're at in the cycle, like what inning. It was good getting your guys' takes. And I think most of us are on the same page here too. And that's the thing, Moonship. Nobody knows. It's you can't even make look, you can make your predictions and guesses, but they can't be educated. Like they're just fun predictions because Trump is a wild card. Like we saw the past week, tariffs on, tariffs off, tariffs back on. 50%, 125%. Like you can't make any prediction and feel like you know what you're talking about. They're guesses. So we'll just try to base it on previous cycles along with some extra spice added on top. And all I can do is just say, looking at M2, looking at other things lining up. And with that factor of those bills being passed at any point too. I mean, again, months off, but the recipe is there. Right? We've got the pieces in place to have a really hot few months here. I think we will. And it's why I only would bet a fluoroform because I wouldn't feel confident. We were going to bet a node monk. I'm like, no. I wouldn't bet anything with big value because I don't trust it at all. That'd be crazy. All right, let's get to the NFT market. Dude, we're like an hour in and just getting here, but some cool stuff in NFTs. 9.7 million sales yesterday, 9.4 on Saturday. We'll just quickly peek at trade profits. 1.2 in the negative, 495,000. I want to peek at weekly. I don't know where we finished, although assuming we finished lower again. And we did just by like 800, 700 something thousand. Wow. Oh, we just missed. Now, okay, there is still stuff that comes. Oh, you know what? Okay, this is important. I think Bitcoin tracking is also down again the past like 24-ish hours. So we probably had enough sales Bitcoin in the past day that pushes us ahead. I'm just going to go by what's on site now, but I know that. I'm pretty sure we actually finished up a little because Ordinal's actually looking pretty good right now. Oh, dude. Oh, I didn't share the screen. I'm sorry about that, guys. Every screen, I have to manually click a separate button to shift the tab. Damn. Yes, weekly 85.1 mil. Again, I think we're higher. Yeah, dude, bullish. I mean, that's what I'm going by. Simply that might be a mistake, but I'm going by that. Also, separate from the M2 Bitcoin chart, there is a look, they're kind of tied to, it's kind of a similar topic, but there are also like liquidity cycles. Again, that kind of is M2. I'm trying to think of what makes it different. But what's his name? Tech Dev puts out these charts showing these liquidity cycles along with Bitcoin price. And even right now with M2 at an all-time high, we're at the lowest point of the liquidity cycle. Yes, actually really important. Bullish, I've seen people say that global M2 doesn't matter and the US matters more. And I don't, what do I know? But I don't agree. I think I'm just going by what has lined up historically, and it is global. But somebody made an argument that is actually incorrect. It's US. I don't agree. But again, from Tech Dev, let me see if I can find this. Let me see if I can find it. It's actually really cool. But showing that just again, not global M2, but liquidity cycles that we're at the very bottom here. Yeah, here we go. I think I've got it right here. Actually, maybe he's got a better chart. A lot of things. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, let me switch here. Okay. So this is not exactly M2. It's just there are liquidity cycles, period. It's not how much liquidity, but where in the cycle we're at. And we are here, bottom of a liquidity cycle. Oh, and he's calling it global business cycle. But again, matching that up with Bitcoin and historically, that does one thing for prices. Right? You can kind of just match that up right above with the price of Bitcoin. We're there right now. Even with M2 at an all-time high, we're at the bottom. So again, we'll see. We'll see. But a lot of things lining up that have me pretty darn excited here. We'll see. Top collections here in the past 24 hours. It is Courtyard on top again. Then D-Market, Guardian Heroes, CryptoPunks, Guardian Avatars, Pudgy Penguins, Bored Apes. I got to skip Paradise again. That's money laundering. Lil Pudgies. Anything else? Yeah, I mean, dude, these projects can't even get 100,000 in sales volume. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Bullish, do I read that chart right, though? Again, M2 is the amount of money, the amount of liquidity out there. But separate from that, there are liquidity cycles, which measure what? How much? Because in theory, you could have an all-time high global liquidity like M2 while we're at a bottom of a cycle, meaning that M2 maybe climbs significantly higher. But it's interesting. Something I'm trying to wrap my head around still. A lot of things are shaping up for us to have this is why the predictions, you can get extreme with them. You can get extreme with them because it looks like a very extreme setup is happening here. It does. Top sale in the past 24 hours. It's Punk 1999 selling for 65 ETH. It's $103,000. Couple more CryptoPunk sales, Bored Ape sale. It's a nice ape, 46 ETH. Yeah, pretty unremarkable out there. X copy still flying. X copy still really, really cooking here, guys. 255 ETH sale. This was Friday, I believe. Maybe Saturday. Was that Saturday? 12th was Saturday. Yeah. 255 ETH X copy sale. Monster sale. Guys, this is what happened. What's happening? ETH is cheap. Guys are buying ETH right now. Like, this is not ETH that's parked, right? This is people in stables buying ETH to get these discounted X copy pieces. They're hard to get anyways, but you're getting a pretty big discount if you're buying your ETH at these prices. So you're seeing a ton of that right now. Deathless, 40 ETH, also on Saturday. There's a lot of X copies moving here, a lot. And it's just another one of those indicators. It tells you where traders' heads are at. The guys with money are spending it because they think, and I pay attention to these guys, man. These guys think this market is going to do something kind of crazy here coming up soon. If people thought we're heading for a bear market, they would not be spending this stuff. Now that said, X copies different. A lot of these guys want their forever X copies. But I don't know. I don't think people are spending this money if they think that this market's going to be down for an extended period. 27 ETH sale this morning. There's been a lot of big X copy sales. I'll say that. A lot. It's great to see. Somebody completed the set of these. Proto Shady. Trying to remember the other two pieces in that set. You got guys really, really collecting out here. Great stuff. We also had a new Opepin set that's doing numbers. NFTs are looking really interesting right now, guys, especially ordinals. I am going long because I got to get to that. But a new Opepin set called Zoopepin. Those revealed over the weekend. Man, they're cooking here. The people are loving them. People love that set. 2,500% opt-in. Like everybody who has unrevealed Opepins, they are all opted in here. People love the set. I still don't love it. I think it's cool. I think it's neat, but it doesn't do it for me, but it does for a lot of people. So cool to see that. These are selling for the highest edition, the 40 editions. That is the biggest supply, version in the set, selling for 2+ ETH. Like, people really like this set. 1 is listed for, I think, like 50 ETH too. So we'll see if something like that moves, but like super in demand set here. It's pretty cool to see. Final Basu public mint is today. It's worth the shot. I think it's worth the shot trying to mint that. That's on Abstract at what time here? Good luck with it. Good luck. Yeah, what time is that coming? Let me see if I know. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Oh, it's coming up in like an hour. I don't know the price. Well, let's check. It should be a good mint. There's a lot of energy on Abstract right now. There's been some. You guys saw the big meme coin, the big Ponzi. We might touch on that still. Basically, a token you could kind of farm on Abstract that did really well for a short period of time. Kind of over, although some people are still doing it. Let's see if we can get some details. 56 minutes. That is pretty fucking annoying. Okay. Mint details. Public mint. $220. Nah, I think no. 3,400. Okay, so you actually got a shot at this. Look, that might be worth doing. 200. Thank you, Nocturnal. That might be worth doing. If you're feeling like gambling a little bit, if you're feeling like getting into an NFT, it's probably not a bad one. Again, the energy on Abstract right now, you might find some profits there. It's really hard for me to say, but what is 0.2 ETH? We're talking like 0.0506-ish ballpark. I don't know. But that's coming up, and there's enough available that you may actually hit. So we'll see. Boy, just for old time's sake, and this is us now. Let's try to will the vibes back. This was early last year. Remember when Pandora? This is the Pandora guys, by the way. Pandora, like a different time. It's funny how we have these eras of NFTs. And we had an era when we were hoping NFTs were coming back, and there was a new token standard, and we were hoping like, hey, a matured NFT space, fungible tokens that turn to NFTs, but you get the benefit of both sides, and it never materialized. These guys gone, by the way. But, again, for old time's sake, let's enjoy this. I fucking love that video. Different times, never happened. We never cooked. Market never came back. Even though we've had a couple hot little cycles, little periods, we have not had an NFT cycle. Sorry. Early 24 with Ordinals wasn't it. It wasn't it. It was fun. That was a few weeks of some good action. That wasn't the cycle back. That wasn't it. That's not what we're looking for when we say NFTs are back. That was not it. I mean, geez, look. 24. This was when Ordinals had their first real, their real thing. That's not what being back looks like. And we're clearly not there now. But this will happen again. I don't think it happens this cycle, by the way. I think this happens another cycle out. It might be 5 years off. This will happen again. This requires, and I don't know if people all agree with me on this, but that requires the metaverse thing to happen. That requires people thinking like life has changed and that NFTs can give you like an online persona, and NFTs can give you ownership of like shared ownership of a brand. It's like that was the dream here. And that's why people speculated so like they did. You felt like owning the NFT meant you owned part of the brand, and that revenue they made, it was yours too. That needs to come back, and I do think that will. I believe it. Metaverse is just a key part of it, but also what might happen at the same time is AR, VR just becomes like that more mainstream thing. I think that actually is part of that conversation too. To me, that's what brings this next like NFT super cycle. AR and VR, metaverse, and then Bitcoin becoming this like, this thing that it's growing into right now. I mentioned this on the weekend too. Like Bitcoin, it is changing right now. Bitcoin is like at a very significant moment right now. I said Bitcoin has turned 18. It's an adult now. But it's not done. It's not done growing up yet. Like, it's 18. People are looking at it different. We might reform our entire economies based around Bitcoin. Might. But Bitcoin still has to turn 21 and really become an adult, right? Like, so, but we turned 18, few years to go, another cycle off till it becomes that real mature adult. So that's, to me, the NFT super cycle. Bitcoin is that. AR, VR's here, and AI now adds to it too. That wasn't even a factor for me before, but AI is part of it, and metaverse. And then this happens again, but this way higher. That times 2 or 3, like way higher. So yeah. So point there is this shit here, Ordinal's cooking and all, it was nothing. That was like a blip on the radar. The big thing's still coming. And so these vibes coming again right here, right now, though. The cabal, the NFT cabal, are going to try to make it happen. I don't think they'll succeed, but it will take those guys getting back in full throttle NFTs. And we got Luca Nets doing his part. Luca said he's deploying all his ETH into NFTs. And this could work short term, by the way. Get Gordon Goner and Luca Nets and, some of these big influential NFT guys like full throttle back into NFT mode. It could work at least short term. It could bring us back to that like 2024 kind of action. It could. It absolutely could. It doesn't bring us back to 21, 22 action, but 24 action, maybe. And that was fun for a few weeks. So Luca in the next few weeks is all in on NFTs, and I love it. And by the way, when I talk about that next cycle and NFTs equaling ownership, look, one of my predictions is Luca is going to make Igloo Inc. owned by Pudgy Penguin holders. I do think that's coming, and that might be this cycle thing. So we'll see. But anyway, I like this news. I think we'll see like a little coordinated, effort by these NFT guys to go full throttle NFTs, and I hope so. Ultimately, though, NFTs a cycle out. I do believe that. Punk 6529 kind of saying that too. There's people talk about NFTs that still believe in it the way I do, that I think a lot of you guys do too. But 6529 saying we haven't seen anything yet. Stay comfy for the next 5 years in good NFTs. It will play out that way. In my opinion, it's just very, very clear what's going to happen here. And because when he says in good NFTs, there's so few of them. There's so few good NFTs. I mean that. We've got plenty that are fun that we like. I like Good Vibes Club. I like them a lot. That's not the kind of NFT he's talking about, though. He's talking about CryptoPunks. He's talking about Grail art. And I don't even know if he's talking about Ordinals, but I am. I put Ordinals in that same category. And it's the ones I talk about all the time. And we'll look at them right now. Actually had a really great weekend. Everything's down right now, but Taproot Wizards back to basically mint price. Actually almost 2x mint price for most minters. But whitelist, right? Like 30-something% minted at 0.2, 60% minted at 0.1. And the public auction was like, what, 0.31? Some guys down, most people up 2x. These are looking great. And in 6529's comment, I add these collections in that. Underlying asset is the most important, most valuable crypto in the world. You have 35 NFTs that live on them that matter. That's it. That's all you have. Taproot Wizards, OMB, Node Monks, Bitcoin Puppets, Quantum Cats. That's it. Yeah. Again, I don't know if Punk 6529 agrees with that those collections belong there. And maybe he just keeps this vague because he's kind of leaving it open-ended so he can add, there's more that belong in that conversation. Those Ordinals collections belong in that conversation. Parking those for 5 years. And your life might look a little different. I believe that. I believe that. Shaq settled a class action lawsuit for Astral NFTs. $11 million he's paying. A lot of money. Man, I think we'll end it there, but Cats Fanatic, let me peek at your comment here. Energy is picking up on abstract. Yes. If Luke is going all in on abstract NFTs, NFTs will have plays because I'm sure he'll be buying there. Yes, that's a really good point. If Luke is going all in on NFTs, it's probably worth Yeah, Nocturnal saying it too. Yeah, it's probably worth getting some abstract NFTs. Yes, I imagine we'll see some of that stuff. I imagine that we'll see a big old benefit. Absolutely. In fact, let's peek then at abstract NFTs. Pabloverse minted yesterday. Those are a free mint at 0.013 right now. Bearish people love. OCH people love. Gigaverse people really like. Kabu. There's stuff you could go park in right now. In fact, maybe that means today's mint is Final Bossu. Maybe it's worth getting. If Luke is going to pump up this ecosystem, you might have some very easy wins over here, guys. Yeah, keep an eye on that. How's Clara looking? Let's peek. 0.19. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, keep an eye on abstract. That might be a cook here within a matter of like days or a couple weeks at the most. Keep that on the radar. Keep that on the radar big time. Okay, there we go. There's today's show. God, another fun one. I love the morning streams. Let me see. I guess a reminder. Make sure you're subscribed over here on Crypto Slam over on YouTube. Live at 2 p.m. with the Swarm Report. So definitely make sure you're following the Swarm_AI. Guess tomorrow though, Loki. I'm gonna get that show set up here right after, so you'll see that you'll see that show up on YouTube. Little placeholder for tomorrow's show. Loki will be on tomorrow. Today we'll review the market, top stories here from the past few days. Should be a fun one. In the meantime, guys, hope you enjoy your morning. If I don't catch you on the afternoon show, enjoy your day. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Cross those fingers that this market holds up. I think it will. I think it will. All right, fam. Enjoy your day. We'll catch you soon. Peace.